Okay, before we dive into the video, if you've got loose screws in your kayak, tighten them. Check your screws once a year. I've never checked mine, and they are half an inch out of my boat. I'm out here paddling Little Falls at 4 feet with SteveO, who is teaching me a few things. So this video is going to focus on that, as well as a swim that I have at the end. We'll finish with Adam, my paddling buddy's expert take on why I swam. A lot of good stuff in there, including a pin. All right.
Nice, nice, nice.
Shout out to these paddlers for removing the log. The guy in the green helmet has an awesome YouTube channel. He's a way better paddler than I am. So if you want to see what a step up on the Potomac looks like, Google or YouTube search paddle, bike, dive, climb. He's got some awesome footage on there.
Dude.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, you know what sweep boofing is?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a good place to practice sweep boofing on this one. And so the goal is not like huge, right? You're not going to get air or whatever right
Yeah.
But your goal is to, that hole right there, that little tiny hole is angled like so, right? And you're going to come in and you're going to be pointed downstream kind of like this.
Yep.
And then you're going to take a sweep stroke. You're going to edge away from it to lift your left knee.
Yep.
And you're going to sweep your legs over top of it so that you land flat with speed to the left.
Roger.
Does that make sense?
Yep, totally.
All right, well, I'll meet you over there. Down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I find with sweep boofing's really helped me. Sweep boofing's really helped me like the big thing I love about it is I can make a boof out of nothing, right? So like I just like get into these little waves and I can just like sweep boof and make it out of it's awesome.
Yeah,
and then
totally.
And the Steez does it really well where the stern gets water and just loads it and just lofty. So nice. This boat does it too. All right, so how's your boof here?
I think it's good. Oh, well, you tell me. I've been practicing.
Walk me through it as if you're not paddling it, but just talk me through what you're doing, where you are in the river, and how you're approaching it.
I'm going to peel out and keep a slightly river left direction, like closer to river left than center.
Yep.
And then my bow is going to be pointed slightly right, and I'm going to try and put it like, I don't know, 4 inches to the left of the peak of that foam pile.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna take a righty stroke when I land in the, or a lefty boof, sorry, lefty boof. And when I land in the eddy, I'm ready to give it my edge and a right stroke so I turn around in it instead of floating downstream.
Okay, what are you edging?
When I boof, I'm not really edging until I land, and then I'm dipping raising my left knee a little bit.
All right, let's see how that works. I have a left edge.
A left edge.
Yeah, going off of it. So my kind of rule of thumb, and it works, it's kind of good most of the time, the angle of where you're going off of, your edge, your hull, needs to be either equal or greater than that.
Got it.
Okay, so this is a slight angle. If you go flat, then you're telling your boat to go straight and away. It's going to be harder to catch the eddy.
I always go straight and away.
Exactly.
So I need that edge. Before I boof, it carries through into the eddy and I turn around.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
I'll watch me do it, and then I'm going to move over to this eddy to watch you do it. Okay?
All right. Sounds good. I'm pretty sure that went exactly as you said it would.
I
You were saying I pushed downstream a little more?
You did that time.
Yeah.
So you're coming at it and you're pointed with your bow like on the left side of this dead sycamore here.
Yeah.
Whereas if you saw me, I got so much angle to the right that my stern hit the rock in the middle there. Did you see me? That
You
happened?
went, your whole bow was dry.
Yeah, exactly. Because I came in with the direction of the river, whereas it's hitting the rock. And so I'm gaining speed from that. I don't need to, like my whole thing with boofing is I don't want to create speed. I want the speed to come from the direction of the river, and I want to control it. And my thing is directional momentum. And I want to be in charge of the directional momentum. The velocity is up to the river, okay, with a little bit of my setup. So I came in like pretty hard with the right angle above the sycamore tree. I landed in the eddy, and all I had to do was edge, and I was good. You had to do a big bow draw and turn it 180 degrees to stay in the eddy.
Nice.
Notice how much SteveO is using his torso for those big paddle strokes, how high up on river right on the rock he is, and how he transitions his edge and torso upon landing in the eddy. All right, so this time went better. I gave it more edge. I was further river right. I could have done more of both, but it's an improvement over last time, and I'll take it.
But it's kind of short. There's not a lot going on.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna go follow the leader.
Okay.
You're gonna be one eddy behind me, and you're gonna try to catch the eddy that I lead.
Okay.
All right?
This exercise of following SteveO through every little eddy he can find is really valuable. It's so easy just to float down this section, but if you challenge yourself to make a few intentional moves the whole way down, not only is it a good workout, it's not that hard. You know, the CFS isn't that crazy. You just actively paddling instead of floating, and you can really make it as difficult as you want because although it's not moving crazy fast, this is enough CFS to make things like ferrying and attaining up more tricky than they would be at a lower level. So I had a great time with this, and I even missed a move at the end. Oops.
How'd that feel?
Good, except for
That one little bit?
that one little bit,
That was hard.
which was okay. Like,
Yeah.
I recovered, got into the back of the eddy. I could have paddled up, but I wanted to stay on you, so I just typewritered up behind you.
Yeah, yeah. You can go down it and it's easy, but
Yeah.
to like catch eddies and to make those maneuvers is like, it adds a layer.
It does.
So we stopped to practice some stern squirts, and I was failing miserably. Admittedly, I was kind of tired at this point, and also don't love flipping over in the cold water. So that hesitation and kind of lack of practice really hurt me here. The other thing is that it's really easy to stern squirt in my playboat, my Rockstar 5. You barely have to do anything. You can almost just do it with your body. And that is not true of a 9-foot plus rewind. That's what I'm paddling here. So definitely got to get it back out here, maybe when it's a little warmer, and get the skill dialed in. So this next move, SteveO challenged me to sweep boof this bigger curler that you'll see coming up, and I do not nail it.
I think I almost did that right, but I should have been leaning forward more, and there was more water behind the wave than I expected. So I lost my stern. And
yeah, and I don't know, I don't think leaning forward is the answer. I think you were a little too far back, but I think what you missed is when, I'm pretty sure, tell me if I'm wrong, but did you take a sweep stroke into that? Okay, you missed the feet. You didn't sweep the feet and throw the feet
I
down.
took a sweep stroke, and then I lost my tail because my feet didn't create the boat angle over the wave.
Exactly. So then it just hit you, and you weren't stable. You have to think about your feet is like fit slapping the curler, right?
Yeah.
Like your feet are here, then they bam on the curler, so that you're telling the curler what to happen, and not the curler telling you what to do.
Yeah. I didn't like that eddy, no. Next time I'll definitely try it, but...
Dude, you moved the shit out of...
So we're just attaining up Beaver Slide here, and the idea is that we're going to try and make a little almost slalomy move around a rock at the top. So I was supposed to be downstream of that rock that I bumped off of, kind of threading the needle, and then I'm pinned. Not smart, I didn't see this rock, but I do the right thing and I lean into the rock. The idea behind this is that if you lean away from the rock, instinctually you're like, oh no, I don't want to run into it. Well, then what you're doing is giving up your upstream edge, and you'll certainly pin. You definitely don't want to flip next to a rock, especially if the water is moving really fast, because you can even get pinned upside down in places, and that's really nasty. So if you feel like you're going to hit a rock, you lean into it, hug it. What that does is it puts your hull between you and the current, so the current deflects off your hull instead of pulling you under by window shading you. So once I'm leaned into the rock and I'm not worried I'm going to flip anymore, I start doing the basic mechanics of kind of rocking back and forth, seeing if I can just get loose by wiggling my hips and all of that. I then start digging around with my paddle looking for purchase. It's an inch by inch game here. You can free yourself by kind of jiggling and jaggling. Jaggling is not a word. And eventually, once you make enough movement, you'll be free. Now, SteveO was right there. He was letting me work it out. This is an easy enough situation to save a buddy from, but I appreciate him letting me work it out, because every time you escape a situation like this on your own without help, it's not only a good self-rescue exercise, but it also builds your confidence while you're paddling.
We can do it harder though. If you want to hit the welcome wave and then go right, you can do that. But there's more. The thing I don't want you to do is go against the island. So I want to make sure that you're in control above it, so that you're like 10 feet off the island, but you're going into the hole.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
Let's go.
You want to follow me?
Yep.
All right, dude. Let's go. Okay.
All right, let's talk about it. I clip welcome wave, and at this point I realized that I don't really know where the island is. The trough between these waves are really deep, and so GoPro's up on my head, I lose my position, I'm worried about hitting the island. I think my back is to the island right now, which is why I aggressively turn my bow right, which side surfs me. I manage to keep it upright with my hips. As I come around the corner, I see this terrifying hole. I literally say, oh my God, lean away from it. The fear takes me upside down. And usually what I do in chaotic water like this is I just wait until there's calm and I can roll like I would do at Horseshoe Wave. The calm never comes here. I should have given at least one shot, but I wasted my breath saying, oh my God, before I flipped over. So I run out of breath, pull my skirt. Now my instinct is to go into the eddy, which is river left, because I'm not sure if there's a good place I can take out on river right. So I use my paddle, I try and get to the eddy. Eventually, SteveO gives me a bow rescue, and I literally ride his bow into an eddy, get myself squared away, swim to a rock, get out. He drains my boat, brings it back to me, and everything was okay. I'm disappointed in myself, but basically sheer panic, lack of position in the river, and being tired led to this swim. Happens to all of us. I wish I had done better, and I will do better next time. Lessons learned. 1, I should have talked to SteveO more about this before running it. Highest I've run Darkside holes like 3.7. It looks very different above 4. The second thing is that the water is not that cold, but it's still cold enough to make this a really unpleasant experience. By the time I got out of the river, I could not feel my hands very well. Additionally, the lung lockup that happens in cold water combined with waves crashing over me really took the breath out of me, and I was surprised at how exhausted I was here. I'm going to work on my cardiovascular fitness and my breath holds because this really wasn't that pleasant.
What's up, Chris? Let's take a look at your Little Falls misadventure that resulted in a swim. I've watched this video back a couple of times now. I think I have a pretty good feel on why you ended up in the situation that you were in. I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is that everything that went wrong here is because of fundamentals, things like boat angles, leans, and stroke timing. The good news is that those fundamentals, boat angle, lean, stroke timing, are all things that you can work on super easily. And I know you said in a previous video on YouTube that those fundamentals are something that you want to continue working on down at Whitewater Center. So from my perspective, I'm going to show you those fundamentals I think that you're executing wrong here. I'm going to show you when you've done them right in the past. And then I'm going to show you some clips from, of course, Dane Jackson to sort of reinforce what I'm talking about. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is your boat angle throughout the entire run. Already here, I would say that your boat angle is too downstream. The buddy you're paddling with, I don't know who this is, I don't know their skill level, their boat angle is better. They are more like 45 degrees, maybe a little bit less. That is going to allow them to drive to the right when they're ready to do it. Okay, your boat angle is like a little bit more downstream and it gets worse later on, don't worry. But we want to make sure that we're setting up at the right boat angle. What I want to do here is just play this forward, look at his boat angle, look at yours throughout the entire clip. Okay, and you end up upside down here. So that boat angle is the first thing that I'm looking at. Turn it a little bit more right. This is a thing with a rapid, you got to know where you want to go. And you have to be committing to where you want to go ahead of time. Okay, back to the beginning, let's talk about stroke timing. Something interesting happens here. I'm watching your video, and this is, I think, something that confuses you. This stroke timing is okay. I'm perfectly fine with you taking this righty plant going over the top of this wave. Watch your buddy, he's going over this wave, and suddenly it breaks on you. It didn't break for him, and if you watch it again, what's interesting is that he's got this, let me go frame by frame, he's got a right lean and a right plant in, and he goes over this wave, and then immediately the wave breaks right after that. Whoever you're paddling with got a little bit lucky, in my opinion, on that. That was kind of funky. You might have been looking at him and thinking, this wave is coming out of nowhere. So you don't know what to do. This is a big hesitation moment. You take this awkward sort of I don't know what to do little mini righty stroke, where in reality what you need to be doing here is way more, as we said before, way more right boat angle, and you need to be planting a lefty stroke with lefty lean into this wave. Okay, and right now you have your weight is back. I can tell that from the video, and your lean is to the right. I can also tell that from the video. So you are already in a weird situation, and I'll just tell you that when you see this kind of paddling, I can tell you that you are probably feeling like exhausted, because the fundamental moves that you're making right now are fighting the river, and the water is a lot heavier than you. You and I are both big guys, but you can't be doing this. So you end up planting this left stroke, which is a good strong, it's a vertical stroke. That's good. It's got power behind it, but it's too late. Like I said, that lefty stroke needed to be in earlier, and what's happening now is that your bow is coming way around to the left. You're like 15 degrees river left or something like that, when this whole time you've needed to be boat angled river right. And that is setting you up for the next bit of action that's about to happen. This wave is coming up at you. You again take a righty stroke as your boat is coming around, and this looks like you are about to gorilla launch boof stroke something, okay? But what you need right here is a calm stroke, and then you need to start leaning downstream. You see this wave coming up at you. You see the island there. This is probably a freak out moment where you don't know whether or not you're about to go down Maryland side or Virginia side, and all you want to do is fight right now for your right to party, and by party I mean go down the Virginia side. And so you are continuing to drive, and you're thinking, no, I can still make it. No, that wave is 3 feet away. You need to be leaning into it to the left. And the paddle stroke, we went over this at Whitewater Center, needs to be in that pile, and your paddle stroke is on the opposite side. You have an upstream lean here with a paddle stroke on the upstream side. It is a minor miracle that you don't flip right here, like right there. Okay, but you fight, and you raised your right knee right there. I saw that in the boat orientation. All right, you're feeling like you're back in it. But at this point, you've been fighting so hard because the boat angles and the stroke timings are not quite right. You're expending way more energy than you need to have been. And the final piece is that there's a significant flow of the river coming in from your right. And you are eager to dodge Darkside hole here, which is nice and juicy at this level. But that flow is coming in from your right. I want to dodge this hole. And your gut instinct is that I'm going to take this left stroke up here, and that's going to be enough to keep me away. And then what I want to do is instinctually lean away from it. Another left stroke, and just power away from that hole. Look at the angle of your boat right now. You're leaned like to the right big time. So the thing is, if you're leaned to the left right here, you're not going into that hole. You're going to carve around that hole if you're leaned to the left, and you have a whole big flow coming in here from the right. But you've done it, and now you can't recover. And your paddle is way out here, and you're bracing, and that's the moment where you go over, and your paddle is vertical. Because you were also trying to add some power to it, thinking, I need to get away from this hole. You don't always need to get away from the hole. And let me show you when you did a very similar thing perfectly at Whitewater Center. And then I want to show you how Dane Jackson handles that wave up above. Ah, good old Whitewater Center. Happiest place on earth. Happier than Disney for me. So, on this run, you punch M wave and you fail. But you end up on the left side of the river here. You're working your way back river right. Now watch how you just grease around this hole. Boom, look at that fucking left lean. It's so good. It's so good. Like, you have these moments where you can fuck something up and then cross back over the river and then just grease around the left side of that hole. And that was what you needed to do there on that Little Falls run. Let's run it one more time. Boom, punch that bitch. And now you're coming up and you're going to run shut down on the left side. And right here, you get this perfect little right lean, boop, right stroke. That line was so clean, dude. Like, it left or right, it doesn't matter. The leans, the body position, right, the boat angle, the stroke timing, when it all goes right for you, it's super, super clean. And then we see a run like that Little Falls thing where you're just forgetting the fundamentals that you already know. Let me take you back to the Adams perfect lap video, quote unquote. And, you know, I'm going to just go just to the left. Look at that into the hole lean. Okay? That's perfect. That is textbook. And then the boat angle is setting up to drive to river right. As soon as I get over that ledge, I'm driving with that stroke, and then I lean into the hole. Okay, it's at this final moment where you have this haystacking wave in front of you, and you don't know what's beyond it. And when you come over the top of it, what you see is a huge breaking wave that is breaking slightly river right. What do you do at this point? What strokes do you take and where do you lean? The answer is you have to lean to your left. You have to lean into the wave. And there had better be a left-handed plant stroke deep into that wave. Keep yourself up and then push forward. Okay, the last piece of this is that I want to show you how to lean into a feature that you're afraid of, because this is Dane Jackson, who is probably the best paddler of all time. His dad, EJ, taught me how to paddle on the Potomac. This is a really good one. There's a huge haystack wave that he can't see over, and then watch the way he intentionally leans into that hole. Lean. Lean. I mean, he's really good. But, I mean, there is just so much more to this, right? He can't get the kickflip there. Lean. Get above that wave. He knows he's going in. Leaning downstream, leaning into the hole. Do you see that? Let's just keep watching the rest of this. Saw when he fell off there, he was leaning into it. That's a really, really nice boof stroke. Lean. Lean. Right, so the thing is, when you're going downstream, you have a huge amount of momentum. Do you see that lean right there? You have a lot of momentum, and if you are leaning downstream, lean. Okay, the other thing I want to point out, if he ever does this again in the video, is his paddle is, and you can rewind it, is always on the downstream side, and it's vertical, okay? And the reason why is lean, look at that. Lean. So what he's doing is he's putting his paddle in there on the downstream side. He's leaning intentionally into the feature, and he's getting that paddle in the water on the back of the pile. Okay, because he's catching green water down there, and his momentum is already going over the pile. Okay, so that's like a really fundamental thing that I want you to work on whenever you can.
Man, it's so awesome to be able to paddle with people that have the depth of experience and knowledge to help you improve. I plan on working on these fundamentals, getting better. And one other important takeaway here is that when you get tired, when you're really physically tired or even mentally exhausted, those fundamentals should really be muscle memory. The reason that we train them over and over and over is so that when our brain is fed up or scared or our body is tired, that we don't have to think too hard about executing them. So clearly I have some more reps to do, some more intentional paddling to do until those things are really second nature, and something like panic in the moment doesn't erode my ability to execute them on as much as it did in this paddle down Little Falls. So thanks for watching. I know it was a long one, but you should be used to that by now.